Hey guys, welcome back to the Portal Podcast. I'm your host Edmond Orenge. As you can also call me the Tribal Chief. So today we're going to talk about the hopeless generation, which is us, and self-identity and self-help and failure here. So I think tutaanza na introduction to these lovely ladies. They can tell us something small about themselves. At least we build some chemistry hapa kwa set. So we'll start from our right up.
Hi everyone, my name is Faith Melody. I am a student at University of Eldoret taking civil and structural engineering. I'm so happy to be here. I'm part of the Gen Z, so this is a very good topic for me.
Yeah, and she was, I think kuna episode tulifanya pia naye. She was
a while back.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Merisha Hadivo Harun. I am a finance professional, but in this context, I am a writer and I am a spoken word artist.
That's nice. So the topic we're going to talk about, this hopeless generation. We are seeing that as a generation, we are going downwards. I can see that by the things, kuna so many suicidal acts, kuna so many depression activities that are going on. So what can you say about the topic, the hopeless generation?
I would like to be very clear. I do not agree that we are a hopeless generation.
Yeah.
Like, I think every generation has felt like this. If you've talked to, I called my dad about it, I called my other mentors about it. Every generation reaches a place and they feel like tumekwama. Like, mambo haiendi, where we are, hakuna vitu zinasonga, you know. But I feel like we are at the brink of amazing things, you know, and I understand that the mental health is now a very important topic, but now we're at a point where we're talking about this, you know. People actually go to therapy now. It's you see easy banners everywhere. People are going to create awareness on it. That is hope. That is the definition of hope. People creating awareness, people talking about it, you asking questions about it, therapy being available for most people, you know. Say it's a cause that people can actually study and do practice as a career. That is the definition of hope, us finding solutions to every single thing that is kicking us down. So no, we are not hopeless.
Okay.
Few problems, yes, but not hopeless.
You're not hopeless. Okay, it's okay.
So despite the high suicidal rates, depression, I also agree we are not hopeless. Because for starters, we are that generation where you cannot show clothes down our throats without us asking, what is this about? Why are you saying this? We have to actually ask, and you're very resilient and adaptable. We can stay in a place where we do not have anything, even if it's technology and all that, but our minds are so creative in a way, we always have to adapt. So I do not think we're hopeless in that way, but yes, there are a lot of things that have come up, influence from social media and perfectionism and the fear of failure. There's a lot of things, but I think compared to the millennials, we talk our shit out, and we are not afraid to say, you know what, I am not cool with this. Because if you're not cool with it, you cannot actually do it to your level best. That's what I think.
Nice. So the reason why I usually make these topics, and the reason why I made the hopeless generation, it was, I looked at the factors. So what are the factors that guided me to make this topic? So you can see the mental health, it's really low for many people, young people, very low. The fear of failure. You see, if you fail as in this generation, where will you go? You see, so people are very hopeless. That's why there's so many factors that led me to choose this topic or make the topic. The factors.
Okay.
So, do you have any factor?
Okay. I think when you cluster all those, the mental health issues that we are having, mostly they stem from us trying to identify who we are as people, you know, who I am as a person, not as my father's daughter or as a sister, who I am, me, Mirisha, who is Mirisha, you know. And once you start to trying to find out who you are, it's extremely heavy, you know, because now you find out who you are and you're trying to break out of the norm, you know. And for some of us, we still have traditional parents, and it's very, very tough to tell a traditional parent, oh, by the way, I'm not doing, I don't want to have a degree in engineering, I want to study poetry. I want to actually sit down for 4 years and study poetry. That's what I want to do, you know. And it gives you the pressure of having to decide, okay, nitaambia wazazi aje, nitaanzia wapi, alafu there's so much negativity on what if it doesn't work out, utaenda wapi, ukifail utaenda wapi. So there's fear, there's all that, and then now your mental health just goes downwards. And yeah, there are other factors, how you grow up and stuff, but mostly that's what's bugging us, you know. But if we can just learn to do things scared, if we can just learn to do things terrified, you know, you shaking hands and you're still doing it, I think we can, like, we're gonna be the best generation that actually ever lived, honestly. Because, you know, when she talked about boundaries, now we are healthier. Unaweza mzee siku hizi, no, daddy, that's not something I actually want to do with my life. You know, we have that privilege to do that now, and we do it scared, and it is amazing. And if Squeezy, if you have a problem with mental health, you can, there are toll numbers you can call, you know. And people are more receptive generally, at least my circle, they're more receptive of you feeling low, of you being able to say, Eddie, apana, I'm not in a position to actually show up for your podcast today because akili yangu haiko place yenye naweza jiforce. You know, we have those boundaries to say no, and I think that's an upward, you know, choice we have made. Maybe we're not there yet in the mental health part because church has still not embraced it properly, but when we get there, it's gonna be amazing, and all we have to do is just keep on doing things scared.
Nice.
One of the factors I would like to talk about is comparison. There's, for example, let me say the Instagram life, and you see people at 24 having their own thing, doing their own thing, having cars and looking like they have their thing figured out. So that causes a lot of tension, and you're so pressured to be like, you know what, by 24 I'm done with campus, 25 I have a job, 26 I'm driving a Benz or something. So that comparison really affects us mental wise, because even though there is comparison, what she has talked about, our parents also expect you by 26 you have your life figured out. Exactly. And you're married by 28, especially for us ladies, there is that period where, you know, you have to be looking for a man or something. So that comparison really affects us, and by the time maybe you're 29, you realize maybe, yes, I do have a career, maybe I have a kid, this and that, but you do not have a hobby that you like doing. You've not created a skill, something that you can just sit down, you know what, let me paint, let me relax my mind. You don't have that because society has told you it's from career to marriage, and then you move on, get kids and all that. So that comparison is way too much. Yeah.
Alafu we also have the another factor ni the society's expectations.
Yeah.
You see, so the society expects a lady by 29 ama 30 akuwe ameoa ama amekuwa ashatoka kwa nini. You see. So
24, that's too young.
So I think the society pressure and everything can make you like be hopeless. You see, hopeless is it's a bad word, but that's the word we can use.
I also feel when she said comparison, there's a saying, comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah.
And if you actually want to what's the word? If you want to go through life without having to compare yourself to others, you have to understand that your journey is not the same as mine.
It's not the
You
same.
know, yes, we have two totally different journeys. You know, she's an engineer, I'm in finance. Those are two different fields. You know, what we go through are two different things. The amount of money we are going to earn are two different things, where we're going to work and stuff like that. You have to put all those factors into consideration and then ask yourself, what is my journey? You know, because if you tell yourself, oh, nimeambiwa ni olewe by 29, so I have to get married by 29, now you've put all your expectations, all your goals into fulfilling other people's desires and expectations of you without you asking yourself, na mimi kwanza unafaa kujiuliza, mimi nataka kuolewa kweli? Anzia hapo. You know, that's a question you ask yourself. You don't, that society does not come into it, your parents do not come into it. Ask yourself, do I want to get married? If the answer is yes, then you go from there. If the answer is sijui, then you go from there. But if you live your life with the expectations of, I have to get married by 29, I have to have a car by 35, I have to, and after you don't even like driving. You don't even, I want to go to 50 countries by 27. You don't even like traveling. Unataka tu kukaa kwa compound izunguke. I think it stems from actually figuring out what you want as a person and then working towards that.
So I'll want us to view this from a different perspective, and that's self-identity. So I think, can we define self-identity? Can you define self-identity?
Self-identity is the notion of knowing that I am who I am unique, I know what I want in life, and I'm going for it no matter what timelines the society has for me, no matter what people think of me, no matter how much they are more successful than I am going for what I want, and even if I get it at 50 or 60, it's what I want and it would make me happy. That is, I feel, that's self-identity.
Yeah, I agree with everything she just said. There's no
other.
There's no, that is the definition.
So the question is, can you share your personal journey of self-identity, and how has it evolved over time, and what challenges did you face in discovering your true self?
Personally, I was privileged enough to grow up in a homestead where I was encouraged to be who I am, to be a career and to ask questions and to step out of the line and stuff. So it has been a bit easy for me. But then when you grow up in coast, there are a few rules and regulations that are imposed on you, especially when you're a woman. You know, there's still those rules. Yeah, you're supposed to be married at this age and stuff. So nilipokuja bara, now I had to ask myself, okay, I am in a new environment. I don't have to be anyone. I don't have to be, msichana wa home. So I have to figure out, who am I? And my personal journey came from, I walked out of Christianity for a while because that is something that was drilled into me growing up. So I had to ask myself, do I actually believe, or I just go to church because my dad does? So just asking myself those questions, who am I? Do I want to do this, or am I doing this because everyone expects me to do this? Or I am doing this because I am supposed to, And then asking myself those questions, it was terrifying, honestly, because you're in a stranger's land and you're trying to figure out who you are, and it's uko shule, and then there's all this pressure. When you're fresher, you suddenly want a boyfriend, you suddenly want to go partying, and you suddenly want to try all these things, because this is freedom, and no one is watching you here. I'll go home, and it was terrifying and so amazing because I tried a lot of things before I figured out, what, there is one part of me that I never want to change. Whoever I become, whatever career I go to, I decided I'm going to be a kind person. Just kind. That is the one value I do not want to grow out of, and I want to be more of that person. So then changing careers, doing my masters, all that, I decided this is who I am. I am someone who is accepted. Okay, what's the word?
Accepted.
Who accepts everyone else, who is tolerant of everyone else's beliefs, whoever you are, who gives respect, and I decided I'm going to be kind. Everything else is just...
Yeah. So mine is a little bit opposite from hers. I'm a firstborn, born in a very, very strict house. And almost kidogo to SDA, but no, it's from, I call it just sit and, watch TV and just have fun. My dad will come in, why you do not doing this? Why are you watching TV not doing this? So I was in a very hypersensitive family. And my self-identity started when I got into campus, because at home I'm used to being my brothers, they lean on me so much, and I'm always there for them, of which I love being that. But out here, I ask myself, who are you without your family? Who are you if this education was out of the picture? Who are you? And I realized one time that I'm living this one life. I don't believe in reincarnation, so this is just the one life for me. So this is the life I'm living, and I'm not living for any of them. I'm living it for me. And from there, it was scary because I'm in a strict house. I come to campus, people are partying, and people are going out. And I don't know what happened when I got to first year. I didn't have a roommate, so I was alone most of the time. It made me a little bit reserved, and I only depended on the friends I knew from high school.
Let me cut you short. You know what happened? It was that your body, your mind, your soul, it had that mechanism, how you are being treated at home. So ukienda nje, like your body or your conscience itakuuliza, is someone watching me? Is my dad behind me? You see,
Exactly.
That's what the PTSD it creates that.
It creates that, so that you can't just walk with a boy and meet your uncle and you're like, oh God, he's going to tell my dad, and things are going to But when I realized I'm just living for me and for no one else, not my brothers, not my parents, things got easier because I make every decision for me. Not because my mother is going to be happy with it, but because I'm going to be happy with it. That's when my self-identity really started. And I'm still on the journey. And it's been a wonderful one. Though rocky, but it's wonderful, yeah.
That's nice. I think you explained very wonderfully. So we'll move now to the self-help. Can we define self-help?
From the words, it's basically helping yourself. Kujisaidia.
It's like that.
It's just
so
that.
A question I can ask on self-help is what role has self-help played in your life?
The biggest role, allow me to substitute that word for myself. What self-help has helped me with is, the one thing I use is discipline. Self-discipline. Kujiheshimu. Yani, it has been one of the biggest skills, the most challenging skill that I've ever had to learn. Self-discipline. And that means basically sitting down and kujiambia, this is what I want, me as a person. How do I get there? Najisaidia aje? Tafika kwaje? Mimi, yes, we need society help. You need to call your dad sometimes, you need to call a friend sometimes, for either moral support or whatever support you need. But it has all to stem up from you. And stemming up from you, that means you have to have discipline. If for example, you wake up every morning and you say, for me, let me just use me as an example. I want to be really good in my field in finance. So I wake up every day and I have to spend 30 minutes just going through what's going on in Forbes magazine, what's going on in Wall Street, for 30 minutes, just reading things that are pure, just my field. And it's hard because sometimes it's boring.
Yeah, true.
It's extremely boring, but you have to go through those 30 minutes and then you have to tell yourself, okay, this is what I want. Unajikumbusha, mtu akikupigia simu akwambie kuna form leo Friday na ulikuwa unafaa kwenda workshop, just hanging out with other finance professionals just from everywhere. Unajiambia, we acha tu, let me get this done. You have to constantly remind yourself that this is what I'm doing. I have to have discipline in what I'm doing. Yeah, that's what I've lived on.
Yeah.
Yes.
According to me, I'm usually very lenient on myself. I've come to understand that I am going to make mistakes, so many mistakes, and the fact that I have made them, I should accept the consequences as they come, but also know that I am learning from them day after day. And from the family I was born in, I had to integrate discipline in my life, every single part of my life. From the people I work with, to what I say, to how I think, it's just integrated in me. Atakama, it's somehow limiting. I find it refreshing because it's me and I've put it inside of me, integrated it so much that I just love it.
Sure.
So I learn from my mistakes a lot, and I am not afraid to say, you know what, I did wrong here. I should not have done this. I should not have. Yeah. Like I said, ilichova, yes. I shouldn't have, but it's done. What's done is done, and I'm going to learn other than self-pity myself.
True.
And also, I've learned from my parents the life they've gone through. I have seen the ups and downs mostly, and I usually tell myself, you know what, I am going to be better than they were. I'm going to love myself more. I'm going to be there for me most importantly, and even though I'm going to love them, I'm going to put me first. Yeah, that's the most
That's
important thing.
me. I think self-help has helped me to unlearn some things. I usually see myself as a people pleaser, and it has helped me to unlearn. When you are in people pleasing, your energy should be like reciprocated.
Yeah,
If people are reciprocated, that's people pleasing.
Yeah.
Losses.
Yeah. So those are the things I tried to unlearn, and I think I'm in a safer journey, or
Better place than you.
in a better place than I was kitambo. You see. So yeah.
To add to that, people pleasing, I had a problem saying no. I really had a very big problem because I was raised in a very sweet family where I had to be sweet to everyone and smile and just be charming. So I come to campus and I do not want to do some things, but I find myself telling, tutaona, you'll see. No, let me see.
Yeah.
You're just like, fine, let me just do it because I do not want to tell him no.
Yeah.
And I learned people, let me say, alikuwa ananikanyagia because I couldn't say no. Yes. And it was so bad because people were like, haizi kataa.
Yeah.
So with time I had to also unlearn that and say, you know what, no explanation needed, just no. Yeah.
So let's move now to like failure. So I think failure. The society has defined failure as something very bad, and I want to hear your views on this. How can we turn failure into a positive thing?
Okay, so if we compare the millennials and Gen Z, there's a very, very, very big distinction between them. One, millennials were very strict with gender roles. A woman is supposed to do this, a woman is not supposed to shout, a woman can be, disciplined, such things. Gen Zs, on the other hand, speak their mind out. They really don't care what you have to say. They just speak their mind out, and they're okay, and they're content with what they think about their lives, and they want what they want. So I think the fact that we were raised by millennials, those expectations obviously are put on us because you're expected that when you marry, there's a very big submissiveness you have to your husband. And you have to have kids. There's a lot of that. So if you do not do that by the stipulated timelines the millennials have, you're a failure. It's that simple, according to them.
Yeah.
So that's what I think. The big difference between millennials and Gen Z brings out this failure notion in Gen Z.
The only way to combat failure is to accept that there is always a chance that you will fail. In finance we have in finance, failure, substitute for failure is risk. So when you're running a business, there's always risk. There are ways that you can hedge that risk, like you can protect yourself from that risk. But for most of the time, there is always the possibility of failure. Anyone who tells you this is a sure bet is wrong. And if you really want to survive failure, Leah took say.
Yeah.
Leah too. If you've invested in something, if there's a career goal you're doing, if it's school, if it's something, na umechoma bet, Leah, just sit down and cry. If you want to complain, call your friends, complain about it, feel it, whatever feeling you have, feel it, but do not get stuck in that feeling. Feel it, maliza, breathe, piga nduru moja safi. Alafu uone, how are you gonna learn from that failure? How are you gonna use that failure to figure something, to make the next try better? Because the day you give up is the day you actually fail. Now that is stamped in stone. But as long as you keep going, the chances of you succeeding are a lot. Mingi.
Yeah.
Mingi. You get. So you have to keep going. Failure is, you're gonna fail.
A lot of times.
Utaanguka miguu juu na utachekwa. Like, hey, where? Yes, but you have to push through it anyway. Sit down, feel it, then re-strategize. Say, okay. And you have to be honest with yourself. I think that's the hardest part. Kujiambia, okay.
The truth.
Kujiambia ukweli. Okay, nilifanya mistake hapa. Ilikuwa ndogo, but it was still a mistake.
Yeah.
To actually highlight them and calling your friends and telling them, okay, you've watched me. What do you think I could do better? Where do you think I could do better? Where do I invest more in? Wapi? And then you take those criticism from people who actually love you and are wishing the best for you, and you start reapplying afresh. Hivo.
Yeah.
You keep going. Itajipa tu.
Step by step.
Step by step.
It will finally get there.
Yeah.
Also, what I can say is be very, very patient with yourself, with your life. Know yourself as a person, and also know your strengths and your strengths and weaknesses. Yeah. So I think that's the route to go. So I think can you share a significant failure that maybe shaped your life? It's not a must. You can say it.
Okay. Let me talk according to a self-identity aspect. There was a year in my life where I had no idea who I am, no idea where I was going, no idea what I was doing. I was just existing, and that came immediately after COVID, when I was supposed to just finish, defend my thesis, and then get to teaching, and then I felt, oh my god, do I look like a teacher? Neza fanya hii. And then I also wanted to do art as a spoken word artist, and I did a lot of events. Alafu turnout was really low, tickets were not selling, like everything was just
It was not giving.
Akuna, like I was stuck. I was really stuck, and I am a daddy's girl, so usually when I was a little kuwa na shida naambia tu daddy and inakuwa solved. But now when you're an adult, you have to learn to solve your own issues and way. Anyway, I eventually got out of it, of course. What did I do? Nilijita mkutano, and then I had to define. It's basically what we talked about today. I had to define who I am, my personal goals, not what the people I love want or where they're at, because unapata, we are going art, I want to be in art too, or we are going to professional, I want to be a professional too, and then there are all these sides pulling you apart, and then your parents telling you, you should be a lecturer, and you're like, yeah, I can do that too. So that just everybody's pulling you to pieces,
yeah.
And then I had to cut everyone out. Even my friends will tell you, I started talking to them umwaka. I had to cut everyone out and just cut down the noise and just ilikuwa tu mimi sasa. And that was the most terrifying thing I did, because kujiongelesha, ujiambie ukweli uko, like say you are doing this not because you actually wanted to. This is what you want to do. This is where you want to go. This is how you're gonna get there, and then I built it from there.
That's nice.
Okay. There was something toxic I used to do a while back. I'm not sure if I still do, but I was very good at pushing people away. I will push you away and you will think, you know what, she's just wasting my time. So I should just, and I was very good. I'm so keen with people, so I know how to
Push
not
them on.
manipulate, just push your way very nicely. Yeah, and it got to a time in campus, I was always in my room, no classes, no nothing. I was isolating myself way too much, and I got depressed too much, and it almost got to the tipping point. And I remember panicking this one night, and I was in a very serious panic attack, and I felt like I was losing breath, and I was not okay, and I just started crying, like crying. I remember calling my mom at around 3:40 in the morning, and just telling her, "Mom, I'm not okay, and I do not know what is happening. I do not want people around me anymore. I feel like social events just are suffocating me, yeah, sucking the hell out of me." And she just told me, "Calm down. Just tell me what you're thinking. Tell me what's going on." And I think we talked for 3 hours till 6. So that point for me, it really degraded my mental health. And when I look back at it, I remember how much people with very good intentions were coming to me, "Faith, what's wrong? Just talk to us." I was like, "Well, what's wrong, Niko Sawa?" Like, you don't see me smiling and all, and I'm very good at faking. And it was so bad. But when I remember how much they used to care for me and call even though I was not picking, I remember all that, and just told myself, there are people there who want the best for you and who want good things to happen in your life, and you cannot live alone. You're not an island. You cannot.
Yeah.
So I gave myself that lecture, and from there I just started picking up the 1, 2 friends who I had left, and I'm here now, and I thank God for it very much. Yeah.
Nice. So I think I can share about my academic life. It really messed with my self-identity, and the society requires us to, like, you should have like something like a certificate to prove that
Yeah.
you won in this category, you won in this category. So I was asking myself this type of questions. What if I don't get a certificate? What if I don't get this? Will the society like judge me or accept me as I am? So the how I unlearned and learned something is that just continue with the hard work you're giving. If it will pay, if it will not, you'll know that, you'll just know you did your best, you see. But nevertheless, you just you just find other things to do that it's not a must the society to accept you, you see. It's you giving the society. It's like how can I say it? It's like I can say unify, something like you should unify with the society. So just do whatever you like. What how can I put it? Umuelewe. Is just follow your life. I'm a true believer of how can I say it in a portrait? Destiny. Yeah, I'm a true believer of destiny. So I think everyone who was brought to earth, how you found yourself to earth, you have a destiny to perform,
Yeah.
you see, or to follow. So I'm just following my destiny, and it happens naturally,
Right.
you see. It just makes itself, and fortunately you'll reach where you're supposed to be. So our listeners and people out there, just don't put so much pressure on yourself. I think just allow destiny to play itself to you, and you just accept it, embrace it. If there's lessons you can learn, allow yourself to learn. If there are things you unlearn, allow yourself to unlearn. So I think we can go to the next question.